It all started because I wanted a car.
I think it was sometime in early 2010, Bella had started a little business.
Sitting at the kitchen table and stamping custom plates and sorting charms and boutique after boutique. Every day was filled with Origami Out from the beginning.
Bella and I would talk on the phone, and she would kind of give me these little updates. Oh, Aunt Jess, I made, $500 at this party. It went so well.
There was a woman who wanted to have a party at her home. Bella was only 14, and I dropped her off with all of the Origami Out charms and jewelry. Bella came out with $1,200 in just a couple of hours. We knew then, wow, this is way bigger than a car for a 16th birthday. One of our customers said, what do you think about doing a mall kiosk?
And then she told me the price, and I think I almost fell off my chair because she said it was going to be $7,000 for 1 month.
That's when Chrissy called me up and said, hey, would you like to be part of this? And she asked if I was willing to invest.
I thought, wow, this is, my 14-year-old niece's business. Is that going to be okay? What if she doesn't make $7,000?
We opened up the mall kiosk, and that's when people started coming to us with their stories, and they would start presenting different ideas.
They opened up Black Friday, and I remember the phone call after that weekend, kind of giving the report on how well they did, and it just blew my mind.
And there was like this energy around the kiosk, and all these people just this buzzing, and people would walk by, they'd like stop dead in their tracks and just look at the jewelry, and they'd just jump right in and just start building things. It was neat to see. It was like this thing that you couldn't even explain.
I really remember constantly getting excited every time she called me and said, hey, sales were good today. Sales were really good. And it became something like, wow, this is becoming real.
To see Origami Out taking off from the first day that we were there, the momentum was building, and we realized we have something that truly connects with people.
It wasn't too long before Chrissy called, and she said, this thing is like a bowling ball rolling down a slick, steep hill, and either we're going with it or we're not. We really feel like it's time to take this business to the next level, and we're really thinking about taking it to a direct sales model.
People were coming to us
saying, how can I sell this? How can I be a part of this?
We realized, hey, wait a minute. Other people can reach their dream as well.
Chrissy had called me.
Chrissy called me up and said,
I want you and Jeff to move out here.
She was looking for some people to invest.
I remember thinking, yeah, that's probably not gonna work right now. We had a home and 2 little children.
I was working for the Phoenix Fire Department, and I was doing some real estate.
had a great job with my family.
Life was pretty good.
I was happy.
And life was good.
And then we talked about it a little bit more that night, and I remember the feeling. It was just one of those feelings like, I think we have to do this.
It was my life savings, honestly. It was pretty much exactly what I had in the bank. That's when I say things happen for a reason.
I'm going to give money, I'm going to help, and let's get this thing started.
At first, it started with an intention to just teach Bella work ethic, to let her know that in life, you don't get things for free, that you have to work for what you have. As we continued on, really, we were very purposeful in our guiding principles and our intention to truly be a force for good, to know that we had the ability to make a difference in people's lives, far beyond selling jewelry.
What do you guys think? What are some of the things that you think?
Jess brought up a few good points. I think from the start till now, the intention has never changed. We want to make a difference in people's lives, and it's happening.
Okay, let's write down what made Origami Owl Origami Owl.
Like, what do we want to do? What do we want to be? You know, what do we want to be known for?
Big orders in the back.
Pick orders, whatever had to be done, right?
We talk about this O2 family, but that encompasses designers. That's those people who work here in the Nest and in the other building and just everywhere else. It's amazing how many people want to be part of this family.
In the very beginning, it was me, my mom, my Aunt Jess, and my Uncle Jeff. And I remember having our first employee coming on. It was really cool because it was almost like we added a member of our family.
To become part of the company and the business, it was just a natural transition. It didn't feel, you know, there was lots of family that was already involved, you know, her sister and her brother-in-law. You just felt like you were part of that. There was no distinction of, you know, oh, you're just a friend or this. Everyone was family. Anyone who came in, whether she knew you for many years or just a couple days.
It feels like a family because you genuinely care about the people around you. Not just them, but also their development, how they're growing as people.
Well, what would be a cultural fit? Like, what are the traits?
Someone who's positive, willing to work with others.
Cultural fit doesn't mean that everybody's personality has to be the same.
No.
It doesn't
They don't
mean
have to look the same.
They don't have to
They don't
look
have to
the
dress the
same.
same.
It doesn't mean that a dance party's comfortable. What it means is it's a basic way of how you treat and react and interact with other people. When we hired people in the beginning, every one of us interviewed them, first of all.
What is your skill set?
I'm punctual.
Tell us what your degree is.
I'm dedicated. I'm a hard worker. Come on, you know that's the interview stuff, man. Like, you might think about qualifications or this or that, experience or school.
And all those things are important, but they weren't as important to us as who that person was as an individual.
Would I be able to wear my mohawk? And Christy and Jeff's response was, please put it up, please wear it, please express yourself, because that's who you are.
I look at people and I listen to them. I try to just see the sincerity in them. Do I want to work with this person every day?
We were willing actually to sacrifice some skill for culture. And we went with gut feeling.
Tell us about your family. Tell us about where you grew up. What do you like to do for fun? Are you willing to participate in an impromptu dance party?
It didn't have to be about work, but if they had passion somewhere in their life, they kind of knew that person was going to translate that passion into their work, and they knew that they could trust that person to take on things.
And really, it was more through conversation than it was through interview process to kind of get that out.
There's a lot of people who have joined on where we automatically were like, wow, you really need to be here. And there's people who have even said,
I don't know what this company does. I don't even know what I'm looking for, but I want to be here.
We went with people that had drive, a love of other people, and a willingness to help.
Rewind. The setting of a warehouse, picking and packing. I've never done that. Have you done that? Have you done that? Have you done that? No.
Like whenever we'd hire someone, it was like our plates were so full, it was like, oh, it takes this little section.
Really, we asked for help for people that empower everyone to help us. And ask people that know more than we do.
One of the ways we were successful is that we allowed everybody to have a say.
As we brought on some employees on some key critical roles like
picker, shipper, packer, anything and everything, down to cleaning.
I had to do a lot of things outside of my box, outside my comfort zone. But as I was supported, they pushed me, gently over those lines. You can do this. We need you to do this. And when I did that, I felt empowered. Like I felt I can do this.
It was like They threw you in and you had to figure it out, but they were there to support you. There was something where they just trusted you. You know, you'd pass the interview and they liked you and they trusted you and you could do it.
It was amazing to see them come on and love what they're doing.
Jacob, for example, he made some crazy popcorn vendor ice cold lemonade like grandma made, like something that you would walk around a baseball game with. And that's how he was picking orders, like what?
People really took their ownership of their area seriously.
Especially at the beginning, anybody would chip in and do anything that needed to be done.
We were stamping every single letter by hand.
One at a time.
One letter at a time. And let me tell you what, words like survivor and love life on a plate was a challenge.
I remember it was Chrissy that taught Tanya, that taught me, that I used to take those things to the station. I would just hide out in a shed and make stamp plates.
But a great innovation was Durrell.
We decided that we needed to put the whole word on a stamp. I made this little jig that you could adjust, and so you would take the stamp and put it in there and smack it and hit it and lift it up a little bit, kick out the plate, load another plate.
This is incredible. And looking back, it was kind of archaic, but it was amazing. It was amazing that someone who we brought in helped us create efficiencies.
Especially with a small team, you really just can't let the other person down. And so when we all divvied up roles, it was like, you know, I know this person has it, and we just kind of kept going.
We had this insane drive and dedication because everything was riding on it. You know, we had little kids that we had to provide for. Failure just wasn't an option.
We all did whatever job was necessary. You might be having to go back there and stamp plates by hand, even though you've never done it before. And guess what? The guy who started yesterday is going to teach you how to do it. And it became this idea that nobody was above anybody else.
That's an infographic. It's like it's a little bit of all of us. You know what I mean? We're quirky. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
It was about being different and allowing our brand to be different and feeling comfortable with it.
I think a lot of it was like just not following what other people were doing.
We didn't set out to be a direct sales company. Like, that wasn't our goal. Our goal was just to be a company that was able to have people selling this product because that's what they wanted.
When you're trying to start a direct sales company and you don't have any direct sales experience, it makes things interesting.
Not having the direct sales experience kind of allowed us to look at a blank slate and say, here's how we want to build a company, and get to kind of pick and choose instead of having the background of here's how direct sales is. So it really kind of helped us be creative.
We knew what we didn't want, we knew the parts we didn't like, and we were led more to create a lifestyle brand in Origami Owl than a direct sales company. It was different.
We wanted to make sure that the products that we created were products that we would buy or our friends would buy. You know, when you're your own benchmark, it makes things pretty easy.
A big part of the brand is unconditional love. When we recognized the difference that Origami Owl was making in Bella's life and in our family's life, that is when we brought this important element into our brand, which is making a difference in the lives of others the exact same way that Origami Owl had made a difference in our family's life.
What would we do if we were in the designer situation? What would we do if we were in the picker situation? Well, when I think of the golden rule, I think of treating others how you want to be treated.
I think the golden rule is one of the main reasons why we are so successful and have been successful. We gave people opportunities who would never get opportunities elsewhere. I think that adds to the ownership aspect that these people feel towards our company, where nobody else gave them that opportunity, but we were willing to.
I think the perfect example of that is when we had to institute the wait list in the very beginning.
The moment that I thought, oh man, this isn't gonna work, is when we had the freeze and of course the waiting list.
We had one designer a day sign up, and then all of a sudden it doubled every single day for a month straight. And before we knew it, we had 1,500 designers.
It's like, okay, all of these designers, they need to be able to sponsor other designers to continue to grow in the organization. How is it fair to them? And then on the other side, it was, we don't have enough product to sell. We don't have the systems in place that we need.
There was definitely not a forecast on what orders would be, and 100 orders could be crippling to us.
At the end of the day, we realized that we had to do what was best for our existing designers.
You have to realize when you start a company with a teenager, you have to really own up to every decision you make. And I think our intention was always to give her a good example and really to do the right thing. Just the golden rule alone made so many of those really hard decisions a lot easier to make, because we knew we could always say to our designers or to our employees, you know, this was a tough decision to make, but we made this decision with you in mind. You know, we thought to ourselves, what would we want if we were in your shoes? And this is where we landed.
We were kind of on pins and needles because it could have gone one way or another.
I thought that people were going to give up on us, and I thought that nobody would have enough faith to stay with a company who has a wait list. That's honestly what I thought.
What happened was it made all of the people who wanted to join Origami Owl join even more.
We turned that on, and within, you know, it was like a couple per second we're signing up, and so we had thousands after the end of the first day.
And they were counting, I am number 2,471 on the wait list. I am number 6,520 on the wait list.
It was mind-blowing to see how many people believed in us enough to sign up on this waiting list and wait for months to be a part of this company.
Money is important to make sure that we can stay open for business, right? It just shouldn't be the main objective.
People lead with, oh, it's a great opportunity, you can make lots of money, when they're trying to show or share this opportunity with other people. And that was never a way that we did it. We say, look at this piece of jewelry and look at, you know, really focus on something special in your life.
Tyson and I both, we got into this thing, we were investors.
For others, it was a potential paycheck.
My intention was to raise, you know, $1,500 to get a used car. That was it.
But our intention changed as we saw people's lives changing.
Over the years, it's grown to the designers, and now we're able to impact other people's lives. And if it weren't for the designers every day, Origami Owl would be a very, very different company.
Did I think a piece of jewelry would change me? Did I think a locket that tells a story, did I think that would affect me the way it did? No. To hear the designers' stories, how this has changed their lives, to our employees, how this has changed their lives, how whether they get a house or a new car or a position.
Once we all saw what the company was doing, our intention was to be this force for good.
When you make decisions based on what's right, the money will follow.
For me personally, it's been great to work in a company that you can openly talk about, you know, God and your belief in God. And so it really helped guide almost every decision we made, whether it be for the single person or for the collective group. It really forced us to do something special for people.
Everybody's welcome. Whatever you believe, it's great. We love you just the same, and we're not going to exclude anyone, but that doesn't mean that we are going to change who we are. The day we entered and launched into that social selling market, we knew that there was a divine purpose at Origami Owl, and that this was so much bigger than any of us, and we were going to be guided whether we wanted it or not. When we were too weak, he carried us. He encouraged us, and we had faith that it would all work out. God has a plan, and you know what? We're just listening. He'll always lead us in the right direction.
Intention is such a big word. What's your intention as you wake up in the morning? What's your intention with your children? What's your intention with your husband? You know, what's your intention in life?
Whether it's a business or whether it's a relationship, whatever it is, if you don't have the right intention, it's not going to go anywhere.
No one ever looks at a locket and says, it's this metal, this length. They always talk about what's inside. this is a reminder of somebody that passed away, or this is my, initials for my grandmother or kids.
I really believe that the secret to our success is our genuine intention to make the world a better place, to be a force for good, to serve our fellow man, to put God in the center of everything we do, recognizing that He knows a heck of a lot more than we do.
Bootstrapping in me was being frugal.
Bootstrapping essentially meant this for us.
Our office supplies,
Shelving,
all Craigslist,
yellow tubs.
all garage sale,
We don't need new chairs.
used from somewhere.
Shared food.
We shared a desk. We definitely did. Our monitors touched.
From our phones, our fax machine was like a $5 fax machine from a garage sale.
My car was the outside office.
It had an extended cab on it, so that became our mobile conference room.
Nothing was new. We sat on exercise balls.
Oh, that was my favorite part.
It's a workout as well as something to sit on.
They actually work your core and help with your posture a little bit, so it's kind of what we call a twofer.
Bootstrapping is very important in your startup company.
Bootstrapping.
Bootstrap.
Bootstrapping.
Bootstrapping is trying to make the most out of what you have.